The same is true for a lot of psychiatric meds, including ADHD medicine like Ritalin. Last year, we discussed how even the experts who initially promoted ADHD medications are now admitting that it's all a giant scam. More than 21% of 14-year-old boys in the United States supposedly suffer from ADHD. Many of them are taking drugs like Ritalin and Adderall as a result. But as the New York Times admits, quote, that ever-expanding mountain of pills rests on certain assumptions, that ADHD is a medical disorder that demands a medical solution, that it is caused by inherent deficits in children's brains. The medications we give them repair those deficits. Scientists who study ADHD are now challenging each one of those assumptions. Oh, you think? I mean, this is one of those the many times where I look at, you know, when the scientists and doctors finally get around to saying, yeah, there might be an issue here. And I think, well, how is it that I noticed that 15 years ago, just using my own common sense, and you guys are just now getting around to, yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. Like I'm not a very smart person. If it was obvious to me, it was obvious to you. Basic common sense questions about the whole concept of ADHD should have been asked a long time ago, and they weren't. And in particular, scientists are now admitting that Ritalin does not improve academic performance at all. The alleged behavioral benefits, to the extent they exist at all, fade to nothing within a couple of years. And meanwhile, children are suffering permanent, lifelong consequences. Quote, there was another distressing result they noticed in their data. The children who took Ritalin for an extended period grew less quickly than the non-medicated children did. By the end of those 36 months, subjects who had consistently taken stimulant medication were, on average, more than an inch shorter than the ones who had never received medication. Many of the scientists in the study group assumed that this height suppression in childhood would be temporary, that the shorter children would catch up during adolescence. But when data was collected again 9 years after the initial experiment, the height gap remained. In 2017, the study group published yet another follow-up, this time tracking the subject until age 25. The ones who had consistently taken stimulant medication remained about an inch shorter than their peers. Their ADHD symptoms, meanwhile, were no better than those who had stopped taking the medication or who had never started. Additionally, last year, a study in the American Journal of Psychiatry found that even a medium-strength daily dose of Adderall more than tripled a patient's likelihood of developing psychosis or mania. A high dose increased the risk by a factor of 5. So these are just drugs that they should just never give to anybody. Okay? You're giving the drugs for a disorder that doesn't exist and has never been proven and makes no sense. The potential side effects are myriad, and they include psychosis and stunting your